Hey guys, Mathel here once again. Wanted to give you an update video on the last few pieces of endgame for the bow puncture gladiator, and then also explain a bit about the Atlas, how you summon your guardians, how you summon the Awakener himself, and what the kind of strategy for the Watchstones is, and then as well as that, actually show you the kill that I got on Sirus, which was on my third attempt of running it blind, trying to figure out exactly what it is he does, how you're supposed to deal with it, and it's kind of an unintuitive clusterfuck, but look, it is doable, and it kind of makes sense in the end, as you'll see. But the bow puncture gladiator on the 6 link with a 5 link split arrow did end up taking on all of the endgame quite smoothly. There really isn't too high of a requirement for any of the damage for using puncture here. You just slap a puncture on things. I was using ensnaring arrow with mirage shot, or mirage archer, sorry, ensnaring shot for a lot of these endgame encounters because it was just a bit smoother for the one-on-one action. So you can see that I've got a little green boy above me and he's going to be shooting ensnaring arrows. For a lot of other things, I did much prefer throwing down a totem instead, but try things out, see how things go. It's on a 5 link split arrow and the clear was just fine, so try and prioritize a 6 link for your puncture. And as well as that, I did try out Rain of Arrows, which I forgot to mention in the last video, and Rain of Arrows sometimes feels a lot better on clear, sometimes a little worse. Overall, I liked my split arrow, so I didn't change it, but I think the absolute end game of a build like this is to get a pretty fast weapon and stack Crimson Blood stacks with puncture, and as well as that, run Crimson Blood with your Rain of Arrows for clear in a 6 link, and it should be really fast and really strong. For now though, I do want to kind of jump into a bit of the Awakening Atlas strategy. So just before I want to show you the video of the kill, which was a little messy, but honestly, once you figure the fight out, I don't think it's that bad. It's going to be fine to do on most characters. The DPS isn't that high of a requirement. I don't think the defense is that high of a requirement. It's just figuring out the fight, which to begin with is a total clusterfuck. It doesn't make any sense. Before I do that, I do want to explain kind of how your Atlas works. In my sort of own little interpretation, or as I understand it, and how you progress. So to begin with, there are these awakening levels in the middle of the map, and they happen once you put 4 of these Watchstones into the little corner pieces together. The goal is to get up to 8 awakening levels, so you can get lots of bonuses. The more awakening levels, the harder plenty of bosses are going to be, and especially your Awakener in the center. Now, once you first start your Atlas out, you'll have 0 awakening levels. Everything will be a white map, similar to this zone over here. And the idea is that you keep going until some influence of a guy, a conqueror, shows up. He's gonna, let's say, take over this area here, and it'll be all kinds of green or something. And you keep running maps in this area until he shows up 3 times. Throughout your maps, and then once you kill him, he'll drop you a green little watchstone, and you can put that into one of your quadrants, and it turns maps yellow. And then you can start running maps that will be dropping your yellows, and that's how you progress throughout your Atlas. You start dropping yellow maps, start running yellow maps, and then they'll take over this influence, for example. And once they take over an influence and they start influencing a zone with other Watchstones, it will disappear. Bear in mind, plenty of people say, I've lost my Watchstones, I don't know what happened. If like they influence this area, you won't see these 4 Watchstones until you've killed the Conqueror. And essentially what's going to happen is you keep upgrading your Atlas until everything's red. If you want to run maps and drop maps at the lower tiers, you take some of those out. And then once you get 4 of these put together, 4 awakening levels, 16 stones dropped total, you'll go over to your Zana and she'll be like, I want to open a portal to Sirus, the end game boss, and you can go in and fight and challenge him. If you fail or win, doesn't really matter. You then have to proc 4 more guardians, 4 more of these conquerors by running maps and doing the 3 sort of encounters and then the boss. And then once again, after 4 encounters, Zana will open a portal and you can go mess with Sirus again. Now, if you're struggling for the encounters and for getting influence to pop up, Influence will just pop up at some point, and then if it's really not like re-popping up in the same zone over and over again, and you've run like 20 maps, just anecdotal evidence, this seems to work for me and other people. Try running a white map of that sort of quadrant. So you see we've got all these red maps. If you just grab a really low-level wharf and try and run that, and that might reset some of the bugged influence or something. As well as that, you can try resetting your hideout, which just means go to Helena, pick a different hideout, and then go back to Helena and pick the normal hideout you're in, and that resets your hideout, gets rid of the portals and all that. And typically, if you're on like a dry streak of 20 maps with no influence, and it's been an hour or two of mapping, doing one of those things seems to just start proccing your influence again. And it's weird, maybe it's bugged, maybe it's tinfoil hat theory, but it seems to work. And that's just a small piece of advice. Otherwise, you just run your maps. You can run white maps to proc influence. So if you do have your entire red zone here, and it's nothing but tier 14 plus maps, you can just keep running the white versions of these maps until the influence procs, and then eventually, once you fight the boss, it will still be a very high tier 1, and you can still get a Watchstone from it. The goal, get 32 Watchstones, make everything as hard as possible, and then you just keep running high red maps. You take out your Watchstones wherever you want them, and you can see that here are areas for your Watchstones just to be able to sort of storage, so that if you want to take them out, you can put them in places. But that's the idea behind the sort of Watchstone Atlas, and then just chip away at your Atlas, and eventually maps are just so goddamn common and so goddamn routine that it's hard to ever run out. I have 40 tier 16s here, 35 tier 15s, and it's more than I've ever had of any of these tiers. And once you're doing all these maps on the Atlas with the Awakening levels, and you're talking to your Zana and getting maps regularly and getting her to open stuff through her maps, you will come across Shaper Guardians, Elder Guardians, and that's how you fight Shaper or Elder. You kill those Guardians, they drop fragments, and then you can go kill Shaper. Shaper will drop a fragment, Elder will drop a fragment, and then you can fight Uber Elder. So that's the new system, and then you've got the Awakening boss, Sirus, who's kind of bullshit, and here he is. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you guys understood some of what I just said, and see you next time. Like the voice acting? I think it's pretty cool too. Okay. Oh God, frames are a bit choppy right now.
You are nothing.
Man, that was a bad start, eh? Like, I don't know how to position these things yet. Maybe I want to go this way. We can try it. I'm still not sure. Maybe this works better. Nothing's happened yet. Man, I also hate that you don't know when the fuck things are happening in this fight. Is someone trying to learn it? Still don't know when I'm supposed to go back in, when he's immune, not immune. Like, okay, he's just gonna go around slowly for X amount of time. So what, today or tomorrow? Ever? Never? Oh, we're good? You wouldn't mind continuing this little shindig? without being hit. What? Do I try and lure this thing now? Maybe. I don't know, this seems fine. Stone Golem MVP. Fuck yeah, he is. Oh, that's the other one, right? That also now moves? I thought I was fine, but I didn't expect that one to fucking move. Because I didn't know that was one that moved. And that might stitch me up. As of now. We'll see. Seem to have a somewhat clear line here. Am I okay now? To just wait till he runs in, off, out? What's happening? Go away. That's the mobile one, right? Okay. That's good, buddy. Okay, good. Maybe. This isn't the last phase yet, is it? Oh man, as if I got hit by that. Can I push it this way? It's not doing anything. Does it not need to? I don't want to get any fucking closer, god damn it. We good? So what's this move now? I lose fucking track of him every time that happens, man. And then I'm focusing on dodging that and I just lose fucking track. I need to find him. Make sure I can keep him within vision. Where is he? Is he anywhere? He was invisible, I think, man, up until he came back. We've got 3 portals left. Pretty sure, yeah, he was invisible. Either that or he's in a storm until he did the poof phase. Well, you know, drop phase. Coming back in is pretty tough, though. Okay. Oh no. dead, aren't I? I don't know where the fuck I'm going. Man, that was a hell of a maze. Oh, there he is. Ah! Jesus. Alright, so I need to, when he does the triangulation phase, I need to make sure I find the real one and just like fucking be next to him. Because that's where I'm fucking up every time there. I'm losing track of which one's which. I'm just like trying to focus on running around. And then I get laser beamed from the other side of the world. Aside from that, I think it's fine. Loot. What do we get? These? What happens? Go back to town, corrupt a bunch. So serious, this is on my phone, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, Zana. Anyway. Whoops. There's no point in stopping, so you have to like vial 3 times, 4 times, you know. However many times. So I vialed 4 times just now, and if it survives, it survives. If it doesn't, rip. That seemed alright. Yeah, I think I could do that better now. Just need to know what's going on. Honestly, now that I've done that, I think it should be okay from here on out. I mean, how am I supposed to know? You're supposed to stand under him. You realize every one of you guys are like watching videos and other people and aggregating all this information, right? And then you're like, oh, obviously you've got to do this, and obviously you move that over there, and obviously it's this and that. No, none of that is fucking obvious. You just see it enough times and you're like, well, that's the clear fucking play and that's the move.